So I'm going to talk about Edward McKnight Kauffer. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of his life, and if you hear any background noises, sorry in advance. My mom's vacuuming. So, he was born December 14th, 1890 in Great Falls, Montana, and then during the first half of the World War, he went to England and then stayed in London for a good amount of time. Obviously, that's where he designed the London Underground posters and stuff. And then he married Maureen Dorm, but they didn't have any kids. Oh well. Then, for the second half of the World War, they went back to New York City. And then, an interesting thing about him was he had designed posters for the American airline until he died. And he passed away October 22nd, 1954 in New York City. So he died at 63. So some more stuff about him. He was an American artist and a graphic designer. He was Europe's most prolific and influential advertising poster artist. He worked on more media than posters. So he worked on posters. He was an active painter, book illustrator, and a theater designer. And he had designed over 140 posters for the London Underground. And some inspiration and style. It was abstract influences, futurism, cubism, Japanese woodcuts, jazzy style, bold and dynamic, and neat and orderly, as you can tell on the examples on the right. And for some reason, the examples of the London Underground posters I found, they were like red and blue and black, like all of them. I don't know why, but I'm guessing it's the colors of the London Underground, essentially. I couldn't find a clear answer for that, but that was my guess. So, one of his artworks is called Power, the Nerve Center of the London Underground. He made this in 1931. It underlines the impact of electrical railroad travel that had on urban life in the 1930s. And if you look at it, the geometric design suggests influence of futurism, and it illustrates the contemporary developments of art and design. And the next one, it's another red and blue art design, but this one is called Play Between 6 and 12. It was created in 1931, and it uses text as an integral part of his design. And if you look at it, the bold geometric forms show the significant influence of modernism. And what I like about this one is that if you look closely, where the 6 and the 12 is coming from is essentially a clock, which I thought was cool. And he uses like bold and bright colors for this poster, which is neat as well. And then in the third one, this is called Piccadilly Extension. I think I butchered that up, but either way. He made this in 1932. It was a poster for a stop, and the stop was called Covent Garden. I couldn't find too much information about this one, but he made it either way. It's another red and blue and black, and he used an organic form, obviously the hand extending outwards towards us, and there's a button for the stop or the extension. He uses more bold typeface into this. Out of the three of the artworks, I would say this is my least favorite, just because it's kind of bland. It doesn't really get my attention, but it's still something. But here's my works cited.